Welcome back, our fellow listeners on this Waste Breakfast show. And of course, today's topic is something that's celebrated at the present globally, and it says 16 days of activism. Mind you, today is the second day, started yesterday. Unite to end digital violence against women and girls. And at this moment, we'll be joined later with our guest. She is a women's child rights advocate who will be joining us to have a swell conversation. But at the moment, I have with me Triumph Akinboye and Oluchi Omenka, who will first dissect and bring the step-by-step opening to this conversation. I know that at the beginning they were all laughing at me. I'm still going to reinstate on that words, but well, today's celebration day is against digital violence, and it's not just as light as it seems, nor is it a cruise or a banter. It is what has been labeled as something not what we should praise about, because it is now a social concern. It is everywhere around us, on our phones, in our group chats, and the comment sections. And some people even create fake accounts to just even give it a little more of intensity or a broad knowledge, just to torment girls, sending messages that can ruin a whole day, a whole week, and a whole life. This is what Nigerian women face online. Can see something like harassment, body shaming, deep fake manipulation. Deep fake manipulation is just like when they take a picture or a face of someone and then use these AI tools to make it look real, and see most especially using these pornographic videos and sorts. And we can see something like threats, leaked images, stalking, endless insults, and even hate speech. Like, we get that a lot. If we even look at coming to the entertainment part of our programs, like even the Big Brother Nigeria, we see so many Big Brother housemates, once they return out, or even while they are even in the house, you see them taking pictures of probably their bodies and everything and taking it online to probably rain curses at them, or you see a lot of insults, body shaming. I mean, I can list a whole number of names, which I don't want to do, because this is also a way of also protecting their image and also respecting their identity, right? So digital violence has become a global problem, not just happening specifically to Nigerian women, but to every other woman in the world. Presently, from November 25th to December 10th, the world marks the 16 days of activism. This year's theme, Unite to End Digital Violence Against Women and Girls. It could be students, influencers, professionals, or even teenagers just trying to post normally. And yeah, I come with my ladies to ask them. The first question I want to ask you, I'm sure that at least you've spent over 20 years in this world, one way or the other.
15.
15 years, okay. Oluchi says, allegedly, she's 15. Oh, okay. She's a teenager. All right. So, over the time, in one way or the other, you must have experienced a situation where probably your classmates, or even on the social media, you try to tweet or make a post, and somebody will say, oh, they never slapped you before. Why will you make such comment? So, I want you to just briefly give me an experience of yours,
you know, when
concerning this digital violence.
When I saw this topic, digital violence, I experienced one this year. I have said it on this table before, and I am going to keep saying it, because that was the first time that digital violence got to me, and it even cost me to do certain things. So there was this time that I was running social media ads, right? I was running social media ads. I think the target for that ads was profile visit, and the content of that ads was telling people to come and record voiceovers, and then I'm going to, help you record voiceovers that will help your business, something like that. And then this particular day, I think I was not on Instagram throughout the day. Maybe I was going on Instagram in the night, and I did not know that there was something happening in the comment section of that particular post already. I got into the post. Come and look at what these two, I think they were two particular ladies were doing in my funny how that they were even ladies, fellow ladies. You know, this thing gets to me.
I want to hear the tea.
This thing gets to me a lot. In the comment section, they were like, which English do you think you know how to speak? Look at, you don't even know how to talk well. You don't even know. I am not joking, oh. This thing got to me. It got to me immediately. I did not even think about it for too long. For somebody, I don't have identity crisis. I mean, I know who I am. So, but this particular moment, I was wondering who I am.
But it also came as a shock.
It came as a shock because I was not expecting. I was also looking at the time that this thing has been on my page since for way too long. I'm running out. I'm expecting clients. As soon as I saw it, I shut down the ads. I removed the post. I removed the comments.
Why?
You removed the post.
I'm not joking, no. I removed the post. I removed the comments. So if you're talking about digital violence, that's why when I now see celebrities, when I see somebody like Vicky James, I think she was still dragged recently about a comment that she made about the fact that she actually respects women who can do so much. And then you find out that it is also like this, my same gender that are coming out to drag her down. I could easily relate. For somebody that even has audience, I remember one time Vicky James was coming out to, maybe during one of her birthdays, one of the shots that were made, and she was talking about the fact that she actually took a break from social media, I think depression and all of that, after she got married to her husband. And the reason why is because, you know, after she got married to her husband, there were a lot of giving us back to back, you know, with her husband. And people were coming out to say that, we know all the things that they are saying. Your husband is not good enough, you're not fit enough for your husband, or your husband is not fit enough for you. People just have different things to say. So for somebody like me that I just have maybe like a little over 1,000 followers, and then I am seeing this type of thing on my comments. If it gets to me, I can tell you that digital violence against women is so real. And it is not just real because it is not even only men that are attacking the women. Yes, that are attacking the women. You see women attacking women. When you go down and you look at all those pages, you're just wondering that what's going on. So for that post, it was later. In fact, throughout the night, I did not sleep maybe until late midnight. I was not calling people that I don't understand what just happened to me. What kind of thing is this? But that was what happened.
I think you will share your thoughts when we have... Right now, we have our guest with us, Betty Haba, a women and children's rights advocate. And at this moment, she's going to be joining us in this world conversation. Good morning, Betty.
Good morning. My pleasure to be back here again. Thank you.
Good morning. All right, so just a quick one. This is just an eye-opener to today's conversation. Are you celebrating the second day of the 16 days of activism against the violence against women, digital violence?
All right, thank you. So right now, we're doing a lot of mobilization online, a lot of sensitization online for people to be alert to the various aspect of violence against women, which, like you mentioned on your show right now, includes digital violence. And we have a number of events coming on because this is 16 days. We have up until 10th of December. So right now we're doing a lot of social media mobilization because this is something that is really critical. The internet has brought a lot of good to us, has united the world, has informed people. In fact, I just made a presentation and I got a lot of information from GP chat. So, but also the internet also has come with a lot of harm, a lot of evil, and to the point of claiming so many lives, especially of women and girls, women and children, every year. So it's really, really good that there is a spotlight on ending digital. There's a spotlight on digital violence this year as part of the main team for the 16 days of activism. Of course, you know people that have died through meeting people on Facebook and all of that, and a lot is happening. Also, with regard also to the impact on children, how children have been lured into all kinds of pornographic activities, lured into all kinds of very bad relationship. A lot of pedophiles going on rampage online, tracking young people and destroying their lives. So it's really, really good that there's a spotlight on digital violence.
All right, thank you so much. That's a very good one, a great one in way of celebrating the second day of the activism. Now let's move on to the main theme of today, digital violence against women. I want to shed more light. Now we want to narrow it down specifically in Nigerians because we are Nigerians, right? And what is digital violence, and what are like the most common forms of digital violence we could see on social media in Nigeria specifically?
Okay, I think we have a lot of, for me, what comes to mind easily is online bullying, and then sharing of nude pictures, indecent exposure, sharing of people's private pictures. So those are very uh, key areas that we really, really need to look at and to ensure that we do something about it. Of course, you've spoken at length about bullying online. If you go to Twitter, there's a lot of misogynism. Women are being body shamed, women are being insulted, women are being bullied. And it coming from people that you would not expect, people that we will refer to as public intellectuals, people that shape opinions, people that are really, really important in terms of important national conversation. These are people that are basically misogynists, they are bullying women, they are anti-women, and they have a whole lot of young people that they are influencing. Like what happened recently in this pay stack guy, Ezra Olubi, coming out when we had issues of his girlfriend coming out with tweets that he had made in the past, like over 10 years ago, about what he does, very terrible tweets. And then there was a lot of public outreach. But then there were some very big people on Twitter that tried to turn the table against his former girlfriends and other persons that were trying to escalate the issue and say this is all about toxic feminism. They left the main issue and were busy bullying these women. And some of them just deactivated their Twitter page. This was an issue that should be faced, and I'm really happy that Paystack has taken a very important step by disengaging him, not just by suspending him, by disengaging him, because we needed to focus on the issues. Someone promoting inappropriate touch of his staff, someone promoting all kinds of inappropriate behavior, including portraying himself as a pedophile that likes to touch young girls and all of that. And then people turned the table and were facing people that called toxic feminists and were insulting them, body shaming them, and emotionally blackmailing them. So there's a lot of bullying online. I've been bullied a number of times, but personally, I try to stay off Twitter most of the time because there's you can easily be traumatized on Twitter. There's a lot of toxicity on Twitter, and most of them come from men trying to bully women. And then, of course, sharing of nude pictures. Of course, you know about the case of Tiwa Savage, the case of so many people. I've seen, when I was a journalist some years ago, I saw what has traumatized me, and I somehow have not been able to actually get out of that trauma. There a woman, I think, a staff of MTN or Airtel at that time, I can't remember, one of these telecommunications company went abroad with, they had a staff training abroad, and then she was involved in inappropriate relationship with another of the staff. And then somehow, I don't know how, they were taking pictures and all of that. So her nude pictures got leaked. And then one of our staff called me and said they were just busy looking at it and screaming. I said, come and see, come and see. So I came, and they were just scrolling down the nude pictures. I mean, it was horrible. I don't know how that woman survived it, but I know that her employment was terminated, I think with a lover also immediately, and she was a married woman. So people go all the way to commit suicide because they have been indecently exposed online. It's just not easy coming out knowing that everyone has seen. You just assume that the whole world has seen every part of your private and all of that. It's traumatizing, and it's something that has come as a baggage with the internet. So it's some. I'm really happy about the online, is it bullying? Some of the
Digital
steps taken by the
abuse.
government in terms of
Digital
digital what again?
Digital violence, or in other words, digital abuse against women.
No. The cyber bullying act.
Okay, cyber bullying.
I'm talking about cyber bullying act, and part of it is part of the point in the cyber bullying act is to stem the tide of releasing of nude pictures and bullying. But then the government has also turned the table against us. Rather than going after bullies and people that do us and embarrass people and hurt people online, they're not turning the tide to go after critics of the government, influencers that defer. That criticize the government. So it's not really, really good. I think the government should really scale up that cyberbullying act and ensure that people are safe online, that people go to online and do things that are decent. Just recently, a youth copper, I think this week, a youth copper was recalled from his primary place of assignment in Kaduna State because he wrote some very nasty things on Facebook about how there are so many girls in the school where he's serving and he's going to sample as many girls as possible. That was horrible. The tweet went viral, and then he was recalled to the headquarters and his pictures were everywhere. I really, really like that the NYC stood up to that indecent act and punished him. And I hope that even he will get an extra year to serve as a deterrence to others. You just can't be reckless because we don't live in a banana republic. This is a country that's guided by law and order, by rules, both online and offline. And we have to adhere to them as long as you are in the country.
All right, thank you so much. Like you've said, the governments really need to take full enforcement of the Cyberbullying Act of 2015 into more efficiency in the state. But we'd like to take a break now, and when we return, we'll continue with these conversations. Please stay with us. Welcome back, viewers. Of course, we're still on the conversation that says digital violence against women, which is currently being celebrated over the world. And yes, we still have our guest with us, Betty Haba, and she has said so, enlightening us on what digital violence could be: a form of online harassment, threats, leaked images, hate speech, and even bullying, and also as well cyber crimes. And yeah, I still have with me my co-hosts, Triumph Akinboye and Oluchomenka, who as well will join in this conversation against this topic. Triumph, what do you have to say?
Okay, thank you so much, Betty, for pointing out the fact that, these bullying usually comes from men. However, I want us to talk about bullying that also comes from our own gender. I am a woman, and I have experienced cyberbullying from women. Women are the only ones I have. So far, as I keep growing, you're going to experience more bullying. But so far, I have experienced cyberbullying from women. And that's for that reason, I would have to talk about cyberbullying among women. When women are now the ones that are actually bullying other women. I understand that women come out to support each other. You hear things like women supporting women. However, there are still women that are, it feels like the kind of identity that they want to embrace is that I am going against every woman that is not going for the way of life that I believe in. So thinking about all this, because I've been thinking about how do we deal with this. I was making an example to this celebrity Vicky James coming out to say something about women. Coming out to say something about how she applauds and support or respects women that do certain things in the home. And I discovered that the people that were actually talking against and dragging what she said were women. I did not find more of men, maybe because the conversation was in a way, maybe something that would not trigger the male gender. However, we cannot look away from the fact that it is women that came out against what she's saying. And beyond, Vicky James, beyond myself, there are a lot of people experiencing cyberbullying. I could make an example of somebody like, she's actually a TV presenter. If you go to her page, one of the people that drags her, part of the people that drag her, you will find women also dragging her, while they are also men. So how should we as women really face women? Because it feels like, you're following my hand. Why should it be coming from you as a woman? So how do we deal with this? How do we help stop, or what should be our reaction? What should be the action and reaction against women actually bullying other women?
All right, thank you so much. I would say that the way desensitization applies to the male gender, it should also apply to women, because we also occupy the same space. And many people that bully, many people that behave so badly online are products of bad socialization. They are products of bad socialization. And it's there's no gender desegregation as far as I'm concerned. I've seen cases where I stopped to buy something on the road, maybe just groceries, and then the teenage girl helping her mom to sell. It's so rude, so saucy. And I just shake my head and I say, this is very bad socialization, because she has seen how her mother talked rudely to others. And then she just takes off from there. So we just have to keep creating awareness. And then people that behave badly, we also have to shine the light on them. Like what happened, what I just cited, the case of the youth corps member in Kaduna State, who was saying very horrible things about how he would sexually abuse teenagers in the school where he had been posted to. He was outed, and the youth, the NYC in Kaduna State put up a press statement about him with his name, his number, and everything. So I think we should call them out also. And then where possible, they should be brought to book. I was reading something online recently, I think on Instagram, where one of the P Square members, I don't know if it's Paul or Peter now, someone came and said, this is what you did to your house help, you did this, you are this. I mean, it was horrible, either on Instagram or Twitter, I think Twitter. And at the point I read that, he was going to take up that young girl. I think he was going to sue her or drag her to the police. I think people should behave responsibly. And then specifically talking about women, we should also keep reinforcing the fact that women should support women. When I go to events, almost every event I go, people just keep on holding on to this old cliche and saying women are the worst enemies. I don't think that is right, because as someone running an organization, See Hope, and being a woman and children's rights activist and a journalist, my biggest supporters over the years have actually been women. So we should not allow these people to becloud the reality that women are women's greatest supporters. And we should rebuke them, and where possible, we should bring them to book. Because, I mean, it could happen to any of us. And people's names are tarnished, people's careers are ruined because of online bullying, because of all kinds of negative posts, all kinds of scandalous and very negative and untrue posts, and all kinds of lies and falsehood that have been spread online about people. Okay, that's the youth copper I'm seeing online now. That's very good. Thank you so much. So I think we should double down on calling them out. I know that celebrities go through a lot. Someone like Vicky James, who hasn't had a baby, the wife of one of the Yoruba actors, is it Adekoya or someone? I mean, they've been dragged for not having babies. And having children is a very, very emotional thing. It's a very personal thing. And dragging people online because they've not been able to have babies 1 year, 2 years after marriage by online womb watchers, or the dragging and the shaming by womb watchers, I think it should be discouraged. It should be called out. And like I say, where possible, they should be brought to book. Because you have data, you don't have to drag people's career. You don't have to drag people's image. You don't have to torture people emotionally. You know, when people are celebrities, you think maybe they are high up there and they don't have feelings. They have feelings. Some of them, after reading some of these posts, could just break down and weep for days. I remember when my mom died and I went to an event and someone just made a remark, oh, your mom died because you didn't keep her with you in Lagos. My mom used to come to Lagos and stay 3 months, almost every year with me. And then she would run back home. And for 2 weeks, I broke down, I was crying. And I felt, okay, maybe I'd contributed to my mother's death. And my family members kept saying, but Mama said she didn't want to stay in Lagos. Lagos was too dark for her. How could you have been the person that killed her? But that was just a statement. And that statement actually continues to hurt me till date. That, oh, your mom died because you didn't keep her with you. Not every old people wants to stay, in the cities. But I have not been able actually to wriggle out the fact of the trauma caused me by that statement. So I think people really have to be careful, either online or offline. Don't just go reckless, making statement, writing statement. I understand now, I don't know if you mentioned that earlier, that there's a deep fake.
Yes,
There's a
I
deep
made
fake
mention of
app
the
now
deep
that
fake.
can make
An AI app.
yeah, that can create people having sex and all of that. They put your image, they superimpose it, and you are not able to convince the world that you are not the one. They've made it look so real.
Yes.
They've made it look so real. There are all kinds of AI apps that does all kinds of things these days, and people are utilizing it to bring other people down. They should be brought to book. We should go after, the law enforcement agency should go after them to discourage inappropriate and irresponsible behaviors online.
Thank you very much, Betty. I'm really so glad that we're having conversations like this. I'm one for advocacy and sensitization, especially as regards matters that concerns women or even men as well. I mean, bad character should be brought to book. But you know, when you mention certain things, and we've been looking at this conversation broadly, I cannot help but also think about the fact that we are also the cause of our problems. I know there are some, you know, they will always say this, that anybody that will be bullied online, whether or not you do good or bad, it will still find you. I mean, Triumph's story was even one to note. She wasn't even doing any dancing video. She just spoke and somebody found something to talk about. So I think I can't take away that fact that whether or not you do something good or bad, on social media, there's just one demon waiting to say something. But I want to still ask, are there ways we complicate the matter for ourselves? Because if you look at some cases of, let's say, pornography or nude pictures being leaked out, even though the people leaking out these pictures are doing wrong, some of these people that allow their pictures to be leaked as well. Do you understand what I mean? So I feel like at some point, we also, like, we serve as a catalyst to enable these people still hold on to this particular behavior. So I'm asking, what can we even do to prevent it from happening to us? Even though we know that it cannot be 100% and people will still find a way to bully us. But as young people that are on the social media, people who are content creators, influencers, any kind of content creator, what can we do to ensure that even though these evil people will look for us, it will be hard to crack and bully us online? Do you understand what I mean? So how can we prevent it from our own angle as we expect the sensitization to work across board?
All right, thank you so much. I would say, first of all, I'm very, and this is a major important point, the burden of responsibility, when it comes to online bullying, online shaming, and all of that is on the violator. I have a right to live my life. I mean, you cannot just intrude into my life and put out my pictures without my permission. So the burden of responsibility, the burden of decent action, first of all, is on the person that goes out of his way to intrude into another person's life. Okay. You have no right, absolutely. I mean, to comment on my lifestyle, you don't even have a right. I mean, to make any comment, because your position about my life, your opinion about me really doesn't count. So it's not your business. I'm living my life. Just live your own. And if your life is dull, look out for something to stir up excitement. Don't just because what people do basically, many people are traumatized. The economy is bad. The rate of unemployment is so high, and all of that. So they look for where to just pour their trauma. They look for where to just trash their trauma, to dump their trauma and all of their wahalas. And they look for people that they feel they are doing fine. The person doing fine, I mean, some people feel that, okay, you are doing fine at my expense. That's not what it is. Life sometimes is not fair, and it is what it is. But you just have to look for ways of improving your situation rather than dumping your trauma on other persons. So basically, that's what they do. So, and secondly, I would say that people also should behave responsibly. It's very wrong when you have an intimate moment to start taking videos and all of that. It's dangerous. I don't have a right to tell people exactly what to do, but then it's dangerous. And in this age, people can even hack into your phone. It's not as if your partner is the one leaking it. Sometimes people can hack into your phone. I've seen all kinds of things in my life. People hack into other people's phone. So, and then when you take your phones for repair, people do all kinds of things. They extract your private information. So people should be extremely, extremely discreet in ways they do this thing. And then secondly, I would say that, thirdly, people should be careful about oversharing. You know, sometimes people share things they're not supposed to share, and then armed robbers and burglars go into their homes to rob them and all of that. So people should not overshare. I know this is social media. You want to stay lively. You want to update your friends about what's happening in your life, but you should be discreet about it. You should be discreet, don't overshare, because when you overshare, it triggers some people somehow, and then when you put out body parts that you're not supposed to put, and they extract it and use it in ways that you do not like, then you are hurt. So people, first of all, should not first of all should take responsibility and not invade others. That burden of responsibility, they need to restrict, to be not to invade people. It lies with the violator, because this is my life, this is not your life. You are not my police. You cannot police my life. You don't have that right. Secondly, people should be discreet in what they do in their private moment. And in general, they should just be discreet. Thirdly, there's need to reduce oversharing on social media. You don't know, social media is so, the impact, you're sharing something and someone in Pakistan is responding. Someone in Nepal is responding, is seeing it. Most times, some don't even express, they don't show that they've seen anything, but they've seen it. And I see some people, I say, oh, I saw the picture you posted the other time, you were in Uganda, you were in Ghana, you were in Kenya, and all of that. I say, but you did not like it. You did not even make any concern. I follow you. I saw what you posted. So I think we should be really discreet. We should really be discreet. And we should use social media for things that are productive, not just going to paste anything that at the end of the day may hurt us. And very, very importantly, young women, because there's a high rate of femicide in Nigeria, young women have to be really, really careful about meeting strangers online and going to visit them and all of that, revealing details about their lives to them. You see all kinds of rituals, voodoo going on, and young women are the main target. There's so much femicide going on. Most of the cases are not even reported because of families who feel shame, stigmatized. They just bury the young women quietly, and then others are happening. Most of the cases that we even hear are mostly in Lagos and Abuja, because there's a lot of media searchlight around those areas. So we should really be discreet about what we post, about the people we meet, and then also bear in mind, as citizens of a country that's ruled by law and order, that when people go out of their way to bully others, to make life unbearable for others, for reasons best known to them, we should report them. We should ensure that the law takes its course, so that will serve as a deterrence to others. They do not have a right to make life unbearable for others, to hurt others online, simply because they have data, they have access to online. I think they should be called to order. And I think the law enforcement agents should sit up and do their work, rather than going after critics of government and critics of prominent pastors, prominent personalities. They should go out and ensure that people that violate the privacies of others, that hurt others online, are brought to book.
All right, thank you so much, Betaba, for joining us in this conversation. We're glad to have you. I mean, you've said a whole lot concerning this digital violence against women, and we need to unite. So today, as you go about your morning, I'm asking you to be part of the change. Speak with kindness, stop forwarding harmful content, call out abuse when you see it, and protect the people around you, because a safer digital world isn't possible. It just needs all of us. Now let's make the online world a place where women and girls are valued, can speak, create, learn, and shine without fear. Thank you for starting your morning with us. I am Goodness Iden. See you tomorrow, same time.